This is Harold S. Reed Jr. and welcome to another episode of the Ice Talks, where we implement change every day. Hey, Harold S. Reed Jr. here, and welcome to another episode of the Ice Talks. I'm also known as hrjr, your motivational coach, and if you don't know what motive action means, motive plus action equals results, and results equals success. Oh my, I know that intro was a little mixed up. It's been a couple days since I made my last podcast, but it was a very, very interesting weekend. For those who know me very well, you know that I've been training in the martial arts. I've returned to the martial arts and been training consistently for the past year and a half, almost 2 years. And I'll be soon testing for my black belt. Actually, in the next couple of weeks, I'll be testing for my black belt. And it's not an easy process. It has not been an easy process, and that's not exactly what I want to talk about today, but it leads into what I want to talk about today. And what I want to talk about today is becoming successful. Now, I'm not going to talk about what success actually is, because that's an entirely different conversation with way too many different factors. What I will say is this, as I've said in the past, there are as many definitions of success as there are people walking the face of the planet. So take the message that I am giving you and apply it to whatever your personal definition of success may be. For me right now, my immediate goal is earning my black belt. Now, I will say this about success, or not so much success, but the act of becoming successful. Two things. One, success or the act of becoming successful is not for the weak or faint at heart. And the reason why is because of number two. If success or becoming successful or the act of becoming successful were easy, everybody'd be doing it. And if everyone were doing it, then success or the act of becoming successful would just be a common thing, like breathing. Everybody does it. As a matter of fact, it's involuntary. You breathe whether or not you want to. You actually have to consciously hold your breath in order to not breathe. So what is it about becoming successful that makes it difficult? Well, it's the challenges that you encounter along the way. You see, people look at those who are successful and all they see is the exterior. All they see is the shine. They don't see the hard work that goes into putting on that shine. You see, something I used to say a while ago, I haven't said it in a while, but I used to say, everybody wants to shine like Diddy, but nobody wants to work like Puffy. All right. And what I mean by that is that's pretty much an homage to the entertainment mogul Sean Combs, who, when he started out his career, he was known as Puff Daddy, or Puffy. And he was like promoting college parties, and he was interning for a record label, and he would travel as an unpaid intern when he was taking classes as a student at Howard University in Washington, D.C. Every weekend, he would travel back home to New York, where he would do his internship working with and actually grooming people who've become well-known celebrities in the music industry. But again, now he seems to be on top of the world. He's got a variety of brands. I'm not even going to get into it. He does more than just music, obviously. But again, people want to shine like Diddy. They want to, when he's popping bottles and he's partying and he's got all the clothes, the diamonds, and the beautiful women all around. Everybody wants a part of that lifestyle, but they don't know how hard that man works. Everybody, people want to play like LeBron, like Kobe, like Steph Curry, and they want to get on the court and they want to do the razzle dazzle and the dunks and the fadeaway 3-pointers. They don't see the hours that are put in the gym, the hours that are put in on the court in practice, the hours that are spent just throwing the same shot from the same particular, place or position on the court. There's a lot of work that goes into that. See, here's the thing about the appearance of success. All right. Hard work is what makes success look so good. I'll say that again. Hard work is what makes success look good. As a matter of fact, I'll even go a step further and say it's the hard work that makes being successful look easy. You see, we watch, like I said, we watch entertainers, we watch sports, we watch, I'm a big action movie kind of guy. So I love karate movies, obviously, right? But you don't see, here's a perfect example. Since I was talking about karate movies, martial arts legend Jackie Chan, right? This man has literally broken probably every bone in his body over the course of his career, which I think spans about 3 or 4 decades. All right. The man has a vast body of work. And the thing of it is, you see, over the course, if you watch his movies, you'll see the flips, you'll see the stunts, you'll see the jumps, you'll see the kicks, you'll see the punches, you'll see all the acrobatics and everything that you see on screen. You don't see the dozens or maybe even hundreds of takes that didn't quite make it because it wasn't the way it was supposed to be, or mistakes were made, or somebody got hurt. You don't see all of that. You see the finished product. All right. And so what I want you to understand from this podcast is, on your own journey towards becoming successful, however you may define it, keep in mind what you want your finished product to be. But don't lose sight of the fact that you've got to put in some serious work. You've got to burn the midnight oil. You got to light up that elbow grease. You got to get it in. You got to put in the work in order to get to the finished product. The operative word is finished. All right. And in order for something to be finished, one, you have to start. And you have to put in the work. You have to do the work and get the work done to come up with the finished product. It is not meant to be easy. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. You see, the beautiful thing, and I'll say this again, is when people look at the finished product, it looks easy, it looks flawless, it looks effortless. People will sit up there and say, oh man, I could do that. He could do it. I could do it. Anybody could do it. And truth of the matter is, that is in fact true. If he could do it, you could do it. As a member of my college fellowship, commonly known as a fraternity, but we don't use that term. When I'm talking to candidates and when I'm talking to pledges, no, I'm not being mean to, well, anyway, one of the lessons that I teach is this. I'm no better a man than you. So if I can do this, you can do this. You see? Because that was my mindset when I was going through that process of becoming a member of my fellowship. That was my process when I was in boot camp. That was my mental process when I was in the police academy. If this person can do it, I can do it. And then if it's something physical, don't let me see somebody who's in worse shape than me sitting in a position where I want to be. Not even physical condition, because here's another quick story. When I was in basic training, I was what's called a dorm chief, student leader. I actually had a place in the chain of command. There was the commander and it came down to the drill sergeant, and right below the drill sergeant was me. Or excuse me, the training instructor. In the Air Force, we don't have drill instructors. I don't want any military guys calling me out. We have military training instructors. Same purpose, Smokey the Bear hat, yell at you all the time. Not nice people for the most part. But I was that guy. I was that guy who was in charge of my whole class, my whole flight. And by the time basic training was over, I didn't want to do it anymore. I was tired being a leader. It was hard work, but we won honor flight. The class that we had to compete against, we beat them. Okay. But it was hard work coming up with that finished product of becoming honor flight. I got a special award myself as the dorm chief. It was hard work, and moving into my next phase of training in the military, I didn't want to have anything to do with leadership. But here's the bug that leadership put into me. I can't be told what to do by somebody that's not good at it. If I could help it, then, I got to do something about it. And that's the situation I was in. There were guys who were student leaders who pretty much wanted to be student leaders because they weren't student leaders in basic training. And I couldn't be told what to do by these guys who could barely tie their shoes, let alone actually command people. So I stepped up and I became a student leader. And once again, it was hard, but I produced a finished product of an example of good leadership. So I kind of went on a tangent. My wife warns me about that, but let me bring it back home for you. All right. Anything that looks easy, if it is easy, you have to ask yourself, is it really worth doing? What value do you get from it? Does it make you a better person just to slide into an easy position? All right. There are a lot of people, again, I'll use the music industry as an example. There are a lot of people who come out with hits this year. And then where are they next year? Where are they? I come from an era where people made stuff that lasted. And it's not easy. It wasn't easy. But they made product that sustained, that continues to sustain. There are people out there who created things 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, hundreds of years ago, that still sustain their families today. Is that process easy? Absolutely not. But as Frederick Douglass says, without struggle, there is no progress. And I will tell you this, there is one lesson that I've learned in everything that is significant and every significant achievement I've ever experienced in my life. Not one thing came without some form of struggle or some form of sacrifice, some hardship I had to endure. My retirement wasn't just, hey guys, I don't want to do this anymore. My time is up and, good luck, goodbye. No, listen, that whole story, that's another podcast in and of itself and another lesson. But let me just say, it wasn't an easy process leaving my job. It just had to be done. And I had to endure the things I had to endure in order to leave that job. But since then, my life has been great. We all have our ups and downs, but by far the most part, my life has been great. I look at some of the guys I work with now, and they're even more miserable than they were when I left the job 7 years ago. I wonder what their lives are going to be like when they leave the job. I hope they're not worn down and bitter and beat up, but that's life. You have to be willing to go through the fire to get to the paradise. Something I always say, all right, and it's pretty much this. And I say this because it's something that I learned. It's not an original quote, all right? If you're going through hell, keep going. See, there's and I'm going to give you another quote, too. This is from, forgive me, it's a Steven Seagal movie, but the line is beautiful. Everybody want heaven, nobody want dead. Okay? Everybody wants to go to heaven, nobody wants to die. I get it. But you have to be willing to go through hell in order to get to heaven. You have to be willing to go through some struggle to get to what it is that you want. That's just how life works. There's no cheat code. There's no way around it. If there's something that you really want to do, you're going to have to go through the fire. You're going to have to go through the pain. You're going to have to put out blood, sweat, and tears, either literally or metaphorically. But you're going to have to go through some things to get to some things. That's just how life works. There's no cheat. There's no way around it. It is what it is. It is what it is. The act of being successful looks easy because the people who are doing it are going through things that are by no means easy in any way. So I send you this podcast to encourage you, to motivate you, to inspire you. There's another old saying that goes, when you reach the end of your rope, tie a knot into it and hold on. All right? Life is a wonderful thing. And if you're willing to go through the fire, you'll get to the paradise. Hey, this has been another episode of the Ice Talks. Stay tuned. We'll be back where we implement change every day.